What's going on, boys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we've got the reviews on the Sven Bender and Lars Bender, the two brothers. One centre back, one full back. We're going to go over them. I'll explain to you, are they worth it? Are they meta? The first one we got is Sven Bender. Of course, you do need, of course, one Borussia Dortmund player, 84 rated, 70 chemistry, and you do get in exchange for that a premium mixed players pack, should I say. And the second one is one Leverkusen, one team of the week, team rating overall 84, 65 chem, and you get a prime electrum. So, you know, it's not that bad. I'll say, just I'm not the best at SPC's price. We'll look at football in a second. But looking at the card now, it's not a bad card. You know, you're talking medium high, which is pretty decent. Obviously, probably the best work rate you can get for a defender. The weak foot is really, really good, but again, a lot of these things, people always talk about weak foot and skill moves. When are you really going to make some 30-yard pass with your fullback or your centre back? Most of the time, it's like a short pass. Is the weak foot a good thing? Yes. 2-star skill moves, right foot is 6'1". If we go over to the stats now, this is where I think he does stand out. He does have the sprint speed, which is very, very favourable, because a lot of players in his region, in I suppose you can say the centre back cards, the lack of pace is there, but the benefit of the sprint speed is if you put a shadow on it, you bring that to 95, which we'll see in a second. So that's the benefit of that. It's got a shot power, nothing really on his shooting. His passing, his short passing is really, really good, and his long passing. So even though he's got a 4-star weak foot, he's going to be able to distribute the ball from the back. So you play him like in a 3-5-2 as a central centre back, he wouldn't be too bad. I would still go with a fullback, maybe look at his brother as we go through him in a second, but his passing is really good. Agility balance is not the best, I'll be honest. In my opinion, people overlook this, but agility balance for defender, for the running jockey, ideally would want it to be 80. He's 6'1", so I would say ideally at least minimum 80. It isn't the best, but he also lacks the dribbling and the ball control and the agility balance. So that means on the ball, he won't feel that good. The bad thing is in bad gameplay, when he receives the ball, he's going to be turning very, very slowly. Lack of dribbling, lack of ball control, lack of agility balance. So if you're getting pressed and let's say the pass is passed into him and you turn around, your opponent might get the ball before you. Why? It's because normally strikers have got better agility balance and better pace, and they'll get the ball off him. Defensively, I've not got an issue. He's got really, really good defending, really, really good physicality. If you are, you know, if you're German or you're a Leverkusen fan, I can understand why you want to do this. Personally, I would say let's just wait. Let's have a look at his second card first, his brother. Lars Bender, we have the exact same or very, very similar. Now, this is a card that I'm really looking at. One German player, 84 rated, 65 chem. And for that, you get a small, rare mixed players pack. And for this one, you get one Leverkusen, one team of the week, 84 and 60. Now, this is the one. We get one prime mixed players pack. Now, this is the card that is worth doing. Now, why? It's because this card naturally has better stats than his brother on 7 chemistry. Now, I'll explain that in a second, but this is important. Do not be one of those guys that would rather play Sven on 10 chemistry than Lars on 7 chemistry. If you're doing that, honestly, you're doing it wrong. Lars Bender is really the card you really want to go for. If we look at his stats, he's 6'1", just like his brother. Also medium high, perfect work rates for centre back. 3-star, 3-star. Again, the weak foot is one less, and he's got one more skill moves, but again, it's completely redundant. We go over to the stats. The most important thing is 95 acceleration, 90 sprint speed. Now, I don't need to even look at the rest. Just based on the sprint speed and pace, and just looking at the base card, I would go with the brother. I would go with Lars, this card, over Sven, the centre back. But we go into it a bit deeper. We have pretty decent attack positioning, so you can play as a right wing back, left wing back, as going forward would be pretty decent. Good shot power, long shot, so you can shoot from outside the box. That's another benefit. Passing is really, really good. Not as good as his brother, but he does have the vision, the crossing, the short passing, and the long passing. So he has a combination of all. Even though his brother excels a bit in the passing sphere, because his vision and everything else matches up, I will still put Lars Bender on top. So from now, so on all 3 of those categories, Lars Bender's won. Dribbling, he blows his brother out of the water. 90 agility, 89 balance, 86 reactions, 83 ball control, and 77 dribbling, 84 composure. That is who you want in centre back. You'd want someone who's very agile on the ball, got good agility and balance. This is definitely the card that you do want. We go over to his defending. 8 interceptions, 90 defensive awareness, 87 stand tackling, 86 slide tackling. Potentially looking at one of the best centre backs, full backs in centre back in the game. Medium high work rates. He has the pace, everything that you want. He's got the defending, he's got the agility and balance, he's got the dribbling, he's got the physicality. This is a card that I think will be better than you actually think he is. Just because all those stats deliberately, of course, all line up together. He's got the physicality as well, and of course he's 6'1", naturally good stand tackling and interception. So on 7 chemistry will be better. For the traits, he hasn't really got anything that really means anything. I don't really look at traits too much. For strikers, there is a few. But stuff like dives into tackles, CPU AI means that only if your opponent is, let's say you're playing like an offline game mode, CPU AI just means for offline game modes, basically, or when or so should I say, sorry, when the player is being controlled by the computer. So I don't really look at those. I only look at the ones which are actually worth it. Injury pro, most time injuries recover, and ultimate team's not a big deal. Leadership and team player literally does nothing in my opinion. So that is kind of the benefit on that. Now the price wise, we can have a quick look at them. If you go look at the Bender brothers, if you have a look at it, so we have Sven and we have Lars. Now the benefit is that they're both very much linkable. So if you're going to do both, you can get them linked together and you can almost get like a hyperlink. I would say around the 200k mark, maybe 160. Just because, literally speaking, if we think about, I would say logically anyway, they both got a hyperlink. They're both German. They got a green link. I mean, they should give an extra link because they're brothers as well. But you can see, look here. As you can see, Lars completely blows Sven out the water. There isn't actually any point. You can argue the weak foot, but apart from that, there is no reason why you'd want Sven in your team. He's got a bit better defensive, but you're talking, they're very, very little incremental differences, and this is the thing. The physicality, yes, it's better, but barely by anything. Now, realistically, you're going to have to play a shadow on this card. Now, even if you played, let's say, an anchor on this card, and you put him on 7 chemistry, because don't forget he'll be playing a fullback and a centre back role on 7 chemistry, you can see that even though he's got lower sprint speed, I promise you he'll be faster in game, typically speaking, just because of base stats being higher, and of course a higher agility and balance. You can see the agility and balance alone wins this whole argument. Just by looking at these 2 columns will basically sort it out for me. And then as you can see the defensive stats, yes, there's a 7 difference. Is it going to make a big difference? Probably not. And if you want to, what I'd probably do is I'd probably go ahead and put a shadow on this right back version. That way you get 96 sprint speed, and then the defending, it's almost very much in line as well. That's the way that I would do it. So I would say don't go around and probably go for Sven, because you're really wasting your money. Now, the question is he going to be worth the money? Now, there is cards that are actually very, very good in centre back. There's actually a CDM card, Road to the Final Zakaria, which is almost called the cheap Vieira, 148k. He's another card that can play in centre back. He doesn't got the agility and balance, but with a shadow, if you can move him to centre back, or even if you play him on 7 chemistry, because don't forget, CDMs get 7 chemistry in a centre back position. He's also a good option for a tradable card. Maybe it's worth getting Zakaria instead of Sven. But if you're going to get Lars, I would say get Lars instead, because at least Lars has got that agility and balance. If we go for fullbacks, I'm just going to put all the fullbacks in the left, for example, the Bundesliga. You can see we haven't got that many. I'm left wing back there. And by the way, you can type that in the URL. That way you can get both the left back and the right back, just in case you didn't know that. That's the way you do that. We go to Bundesliga. There isn't that many options. Now, we do have players like Mbabu. Now, Mbabu by default will always have the leg up on him. And Alphonso Davies out of budget, so we're not going to bother talking about him. But let's talk about Mbabu. Now, this thing, Mbabu is 6 foot, 3-star, 3-star, opposite end. But if I was you, just get Mbabu, maybe put like a sentinel on him, and it solves the issue. Mbabu on 7 chemistry will be better than these guys. Why? Because Mbabu's got very, very good sprint speed. I've used him in FIFA 19, used him in 20, and I've used him briefly this year. A top tier card, his gold card. He's got the agility and balance anyway. He's got a beautiful crossing, good short passing, decent positioning, especially for a wing back. He's got the defending stats, everything that you need, and he does have the strength and aggression. Now, the benefit of this card is that he's tradable, so you can buy him, and then you can sell him if you don't want him. So in my opinion, if you're going to choose to do Lars Bender, I would say consider getting Mbabu first, then go for Bender. If you are considering doing both, I would advise against it. I would say only do Lars, but if you're looking for someone else to link them together, use Mbabu. That's probably the way to go. If you're going to do Sven, now, if let's say, for example, you said to me, hey, Neil, look, I'm against you playing fullbacks and centre back. I think you're breaking the law, or whatever you want to say. If you want to use Sven, in my opinion, just don't even bother buying him. You can have other cards. We do have the Kanji card, which of course is a bit more expensive, but it might be worth getting him because he's got a decent agility and balance as opposed to Sven. So that's what I would. So you also do have Klosterman. Now Klosterman, it's not really in the same category per se, because obviously don't forget Klosterman hasn't really got the agility and balance, but Klosterman's also a good example. So in my opinion, if you're going to get Sven, just get a Kanji or Mbabu instead. If you're going to get Lars, I would say do Mbabu, but if you're thinking about playing someone alongside Mbabu in a centre back positioning, I'll say definitely go for Lars. I think he's definitely one of the best centre backs you can get in the Bundesliga for his price. Thanks for watching, boys. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.